When last we left off, the party had made a deal with a dragon to, quote unquote, get a ride northwest. Of course, we don't refer to the dragon as a mount, otherwise it gets very angry. But hopefully that lesson has been learned. So you guys are ready to travel. You've sorted out all of your gear that you're going to be taking with you. Is there any last minute preparations that you want to make?
Can't really think of any right now. We've made sure everything's sorted. Horses are unhitched and free to roam, so...
I mean, truthfully, free to become dragon snacks.
Yes, but, you know.
All right. In that case, Reshzamanaz offers to allow 2 people to be carried in his hind claws, and the others can ride on his back and neck.
Why do I feel like the 2 people in the claws are going to be Rhodes and Tempest?
I don't know. I don't think Katyra is his favorite right now either.
I was just going to say, he's when he says that 2 people can ride in his claws, he is looking at Katyra when he says that.
Oh, I had no doubt about that. And I just shrug and start moving to the hindquarters.
I think it would probably make sense for those of us who can help defend, be in a position to be able to do so. Not that I think anything's going to attack a dragon.
Your magnificence, Reshzamanaz. Can I ask that you grip me so that my arms are loose so that I can use my panpipes if I need to use some of my bardic magic, if it please you?
Do you honestly believe anything will attack me in the air?
Nothing smart.
As she said, any intelligent being would...
Just lift your arms up when he grabs you, Katyra.
All right.
If you're all right with it, I'll go by your neck, and the other 2 here can go on your back.
Very well.
So I believe that's Ysmyr on the neck, Rhodes and Yaereene on his back, and Katyra and Tempest at the feet.
I feel like Rhodes actually would volunteer to ride in a claw, just so, the lovebirds can have a chance to ride a dragon together. Truly, I'm doing my best to be a wingman on the actual wingman.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so Rhodes and Katyra are in claws?
That is correct.
Okay, and Ysmyr is on the neck, and then Tempus and Yaereene. Yaereene, would you rather sit closer to Ysmyr or closer to the rump?
I'd rather be in the middle, so closer to Ysmyr.
Reshzamanaz waits for you guys to get into position. He takes up Rhodes and Katyra in his front claws to start, so that he can stand up and run to take off, and then transfers you mid-flight. Which, how do you feel about that?
If he wanted to kill us, he'd just drop us. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I think Rhodes is going to stay quiet on this one and let the dragon do as the dragon is wont to do.
Okay. Ysmyr, as the dragon takes wing and flies over the treetops, he turns his head to you and says,
Would you prefer me to fly low over the treetops or high amongst the clouds?
Oh. So, out of character, does anyone have any preferences? I do want to be considerate.
I would like to not take tree branches in the face, but I would also like to breathe.
Honestly, I'd rather low.
Yeah, just in case we can spot anything. But, I don't know how likely that'll be.
Okay. How about we start low, and then maybe as the day warms up, we can go higher. Some of the others don't have as much of a friendly relationship with the cold as you or I might.
Very well, but let it be known that there are frost giants in these woods, and it is not uncommon for them to hurl stones at passing dragons. If such a thing should happen, I will endeavor to not protect myself with my hind legs.
You just made a very good point. Then I think for safety's sake, it's better we go higher. I'll let the... Is he talking in Draconic?
Yes.
I will let the others know. And she'll turn back to the others and just be like, we're going to fly high. Flying near the treetops puts us in range of possible giant attacks. So,
That makes sense.
but I guess let us know if it's too much.
Okay. So Reshzamanaz flies higher and higher, leaving the treetops far below. As anticipated, it does get cooler. The air slightly thinner, but I mean the dragon needs to breathe too, right? So it's not going up so high that it's going to cause problems. I would like Katiara and Yaereene to make Constitution saving throws.
Whew, that one scared me for a second.
You guys are fine. You don't suffer any ill effects from the increased cold or altitude today, but it is not a comfortable sensation flying on dragonback in winter. So as anticipated, the day passes uneventfully. You don't see anything in the sky that would be anywhere near large enough to challenge the dragon. In fact, you see flocks of birds fly away from it as soon as he's within eyesight. So this seems to be the best way to go. And he does land as the sun starts to go down, giving you guys a chance to set up camp for the night. Normally, you guys would look for a safe spot to camp. I'm not sure if you're so worried about that with the dragon there with you, although he does go off to hunt for some food.
I think it's still good to have, even if we have the added bonus, it's still good to have a decent spot.
Okay, then I will go search for something, and hopefully Tempest will assist me.
Yes, he will. Yep, you find a good spot that's out of the way, out of the elements, hidden from anybody that might be in the area. Reshzamanaz has no problem finding you guys. His senses are ridiculous. So would you guys like to discuss anything tonight?
Ysmyr will just check in with everyone, make sure they're doing okay. Particularly Yaereene, because she knows about the cold, and Katiara and Rhodes, because they probably had the more uncomfortable spot to ride.
I mean, I'm assuming like it's not like our dragon friend, because I'm not going to try pronouncing that name. It's not like our dragon friend would have intentionally made things bumpy for Katiara and Rhodes, would he?
No. I mean, it wasn't comfortable in his claws, but you don't feel like he was like squeezing you or anything, like to make you extra uncomfortable.
In that case, Rhodes is probably look like equivalent to like the most ecstatic 15-year-old boy because he got to fly through the air by grace of a dragon, and this is just the coolest thing that's ever happened to him.
Give me an insight check.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, you're not getting any sense of anything. The dragon is unreadable.
Mr. Dragon,
Yes, Elfling.
would it be okay to talk to you and ask you a couple of questions? Or would you rather not?
I will give you one question, free of charge.
Oh boy. Oh, thank you. One moment. I need to think a lot. What are all of the colors of other dragons that you know of?
Well, in this region, you would find white and silver. There are swamplands deep in the northern woods where you find black dragons as well. In other lands, you would find reds and greens and blues, gold, brass, copper, iron. Why do you ask this?
Well, you are the first dragon I've ever met, and I occasionally have dreams about dragons. Thank you so much for answering and blessing me with your wisdom. She is actively trying to channel Ysmyr at her best. This is as good as Yaereene gets.
The dragon seems unmoved by your thanks and turns and curls up to sleep for the night.
Yaereene just backs away like she's expecting to be ignored, so it's all good.
And sorry, was just answering a message from Ryan. So, after she's checking in with everyone, Ysmyr's going to have a moment where she goes off, is just off to the side and distracted because the characters won't know this, but she's getting messages from Yuri, so she's just trying to deal with that first.
Right then. So, what's up? And I'm keeping my voice down low to make sure Reshzamanaz is not disturbed by any noise.
Anybody else doing anything before bed?
I am sending you a message, Ryan.
I turn to Rhodes and I'm like, oh, I know that it was a long distance, but based on, could you keep track of the travel Reshzamanaz made in this one day compared to what we would make to get an idea of how much longer it's going to take?
Is that something I could make some kind of knowledge check for, Ryan?
Oof.
Like, would that be survival or perception or nature or...
Give me a survival check and a perception check.
So there's survival,
Wow.
and here is perception.
All right. You're definitely traveling faster than you would have by horse. That much was obvious. How much faster is hard to gauge, but you would say that you probably flew 2 or 3 days worth of travel that you would have done on horseback.
Okay, so Rhodes would probably relay that to Katiara and just kind of mention we're definitely going to be there, I would argue, at least a few weeks earlier than we had planned.
Thank you.
Sorry, still typing.
You keep at it. You're doing great.
But other than looking distracted, after a bit, Ysmyr's going to look downright upset and just kind of get up and go off on her own for a little bit. Not far, but off on her own.
Now, is this anything the rest of us would notice?
She's not being subtle about walking off.
Yareene's pretty perceptive, but there's no way she'd go after Ysmyr if Ysmyr didn't look like Ysmyr wanted company.
I mean, Rhodes is not the brightest, so he'll follow. Is Ysmyr going off to sit by herself, or is she still walking? What is she doing?
She's going off until she gets a decent ways away from everyone. Ryan, how far away would she have to be to not be heard by the others?
Not too far.
Okay, she's going about that far away. How subtle is Rhodes being about following?
Rhodes would be if she's going that far away, Rhodes would run to catch up and walk with her.
Okay, then she's going to stiffen, but she's not going to stop him.
Once he catches up, he's just gonna fall in step with her and be like, "Hey, is there a reason you walked off so quickly? Is everything okay?"
I was just going to let off some steam. I got another from Yaereene.
Care to share?
It seems Gorold and Dameline are claiming that I sent the dragon upon Nordgard and have a monstrous army at my command that is more terrifying than orcs and the undead.
So, does that mean they are siding with the orcs and undead?
No, I don't think so. I think it means they just are, every little thing we do is going to be twisted and made so that we are strictly the enemy of the whole city that we have been trying to protect.
Well, maybe they think if we have a monstrous army at our command, as they seem to think so, maybe they'll keep fighting and hold out with the hope we'll come back and defend them. And then, admittedly, probably conquer them in their viewpoint and probably raise the city in their viewpoint. But as long as they keep defending it until we can get back, right?
He said they're rebuilding. It's just they aren't seeing reason. And I'm just tired of it. Very, very tired of it. I've lived there. It seems like everything I did working as a guard and a soldier in the city for years prior to any of this happening has meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. It takes one person with a grudge, and I don't even know if I can call Nordgard home anymore.
Ysmyr, what they think of us doesn't matter. As long as the city stands, we always have a chance to clear our names and get things straight. What matters now is that they're surviving. And if this is what it takes for them to keep surviving, then that's what they're going to do. We can't clear anyone's name if no one's left by the time we get back.
It's just one more cut on top of many thousand already. I'm just tired.
Do you really care what people in Nordgard think of you that much when you're surrounded by a group who really, honestly and truly seem to think the world of you?
I did for a while. Look at how long it took me to even let any of you learn anything about me.
I bet you didn't let anyone in Nordgard learn anything about you.
Exactly. So I care a little bit.
So, I guess when you look at it that way, wouldn't you say, to be the cheesiest of cheesy, that we're kind of home now? Who gives a crap about what anyone in Nordgard thinks? It's a city that's going to stand and people are going to come and go. But what we have here now, you're really going to put what that city thinks over this group?
You need to stop talking sense, you know that?
It happens very rarely, but when it does, I would like to think it's worth listening to.
Well, it's still not easy to hear this stuff.
Look, the way I see it, Ysmyr, we're going back into territory that I'm not exactly the most well-liked either. But the fact of the matter is it is home and I care about it and I've got a lot of memories there, regardless of who may or may not like me when we go. So I feel Nordgard's probably hitting a similar spot for you too.
Yeah, that sounds right. Well, okay. I'm still going to take a minute or two or 20, but okay.
Do you want me to stick around or should I head back and give you some privacy?
I promise I'm not going to go anywhere.
Oh, I wasn't worried about you leaving. I was worried about something coming and finding you, just so we're clear.
I won't be far behind. Here's the deal. If we're going to your home and you have some, don't have many fans there, I'll have your back. If we go back to Nordgard and the same thing happens, you'll do the same?
And Rhodes is going to flash her that, super shit-eating grin, place a fist over his heart, bow to her, and go, "Of course, my queen."
All right, Sir Fried. Go to sleep.
And with that, he'll turn and make his way back to the camp.
All right. So, is there anything else anybody would like to do tonight?
Tempest is going to take Katiara aside and is going to say, "Hey, Katiara, how you doing?"
Oh, well, I've had better times. Oh dear. It was an interesting day hanging from his claws, wondering if he'd get back at me by watching me drop.
Well, after a while it actually gets kind of relaxing to have all that air whistling past your ears, don't you think?
I feel like for reference, we should let Jesse know that Tempest got to ride on the dragon's back with Yaereene.
Yeah, I was dangling in its claws with Rhodes.
Why did we get the VIP seating?
You have a wingman.
You're welcome.
Aw, thanks, gang. But yeah, he's asking you how you been. What's up? How you doing?
Uh, it's been a day for self-examination. Yeah. Trying to watch my language a bit more. It's not too often that I find myself the victim of my own words. He says, blindly forgetting a lot of the situations he's had recently. So between having to figure out how to talk to Reshzamanaz without getting him riled up and exposing the team, um, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do now that I don't have the wand anymore, you know? Because we were all starting to lean on it a little heavily, and now we got to think a little different, right?
I mean, that's stupid. You're a mighty master of magic. You have incredible musics at your behalf and knowledge of incredible laws and such. So, no, I don't think so. I think we're going to be just fine without that wand.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tempest. That's sweet. I appreciate it.
Anyway, I had 2 questions. First question, where are you on your spiritual journey in relation to the Stormlord? Have you come to terms with them as a believer? Are you still like trying to contact them with your thoughts and prayers? How's that going for you?
Anytime that I've tried to reach out to the Stormlord, I've not really gotten anything solid back. I've had maybe visions that say kind of like, yeah, I notice you, you're okay, thank you. I have to talk to the big kids now, kind of thing. Yaereene is much, much closer to the Stormlord than I am now or ever will be, it seems to me now.
Well, maybe, maybe not. Do you know of any rituals or of any sort of magics that would help someone get close to their god? I'm really hoping that we can help, revitalize the Stormlord or ask them for help with the whole Tempest situation. Because if Rhodes loses his spells, we are hooped.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of where we're going, isn't it? Is trying to get closer to the Stormlord and put Yaereene in the best situation to commune, become one, become a vassal, become a vessel. I I don't know. I mean, it's so much up in the air to me, at least.
Okay, well, I'll think on that a little bit more. Second question. My mind is a little bit muddled on the last couple of weeks. I understand that I've been behaving very erratically between the possession of a god and the use of a cursed sword, so there's a lot of details I'm coming up short on. Do you think that you could just help me out if you notice me, like, operating on bad information, or if I'm saying something that doesn't jive up, maybe give me a little tap and confirm what's going on?
Tempest, I'll always try to help you do what's right.
Well, I appreciate that. Just to confirm, you came north because you killed like a bunch of people, right? You're like the Zodiac killer or something?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Um, Tempest, it was more like you dragging me out of the building and fighting your way through to get us out of the jail that caused the situation. Now, I I ended up trying to help, but we didn't kill all the people that I think you think we killed.
No, no. I'm referring to when you came to the north in the first place. What brought you up here? I think you had told me that you had, like, murdered a bunch of nobles or something, and that you're a crazy anarchist.
Oh no! Oh no! Um, I had a rival at the school that was a very, very high-placed noble son, and
And you murdered his family.
no, I just killed him in a fair duel.
See, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. I think I may have been a little bit off on my recollection of that conversation.
Um, he was a horrible, rotten sod, but it finally came down to it, and it was me against him. Fair, fair, unfair. And I managed to outfence him and run him through like the dog he was. However, having done that, and me being not, I was well regarded at the school as a student, but socially, I was not in the same strata, shall we say, as everyone else. So it would make more sense for me to get the hell out of town before I had him and his family and the faculty that wanted to suck up and keep getting the money from the family, uh, hounding me and killing me for winning the duel fair and square.
Okay, I think you've put me straight on that one. Is there any reason why you haven't shared this with the rest of the group?
I th- I thought it came across like that. Maybe that's something we need to discuss when Reshzamanaz isn't exactly privy to it, or maybe it needs to be privy to it because then he'll think I'm a cold-blooded killer and more evil than I actually am. I don't know.
Well, whatever. Um, Speaking of Reshzamanaz, was Ysmyr flirting with him relentlessly, or did I make that up too?
As far as I could tell, it was more deferential and respectful in tone, rather than a little bit of a coquette, kittenish vixen trying to go, "Oh, you lovely beast" type stuff. So, yeah, I think you got that wrong.
Okay. Well, thanks for setting me straight.
Always.
Love ya. And that's the end of the conversation.
Okay. Um, is that all of the conversations now for the night?
I don't think anybody can top that one.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I look a little befuddled coming back.
All right. So are you guys setting up a watch for the night?
Oh, yes.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. What's the order of the watch?
Yaereene will go first.
I'll take a middle watch.
I'll go second, so KTR a third.
I guess that leaves it up between Ysmyr and Rhodes, so Rhodes can take either. Yeah, Rhodes can take last.
And if one of you wants to go first, please feel free to swap with me.
Ysmyr might swap with you. She might be currently more happy to go first.
Sounds good.
All right. The night passes uneventfully. As you guys break camp in the morning, Reshzamanaz flies off to go and find himself some breakfast, and returns by the time you guys are ready to go.
Was everyone all right with the flight in the clouds yesterday?
Yep.
Oh, I'm good to go.
Well, yeah. I mean, I survived that day, so see no reason I won't survive this one.
All right, then. Just wanted to double check before we got going. But because it sounds like Kitira just jinxed it as she approaches Reshzamanaz, she knocks on like a tree trunk.
Drawing his attention.
Oh no, she was knock on wood.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So same configuration as yesterday.
Sure.
Rhodes, would you want to switch claws, or you just want to stay in the same one?
You think there's a difference in claws? Like we can swap if you want. It's up to you.
I was just thinking you might like a different view.
If it'll make you feel better, I will switch claws with you. But I really think it's truly the dragon's choice.
Ah, that's true. Well, we'll just stand there and see if he goes front to back or whatever.
Yep. He picks you guys up in his front claws first, and as he takes off, transfers you to the back again safely. And this day goes much the same as the last. You fly at speed, high in the air, come back down at the end of the day, and everybody's in one piece.
I like this One Piece plan.
While they're flying, I was just going to say, each time they're up in the air, Ysmyr just seems really content to like have the air moving. She's real like she's not the one flying, but the whole flight thing is like, this is nice. Oh, and I'll also say, after the talk with Rhodes, she's less stressed this day than she would normally be.
KTR is going to use this flying through the air to try and actually come up with some new songs.
Okay. Do you want to give me a performance check?
Sure. Oh, thank God for a +10.
It's even so. It's hard to concentrate on lyrics and rhythm while clutched in a dragon's claw. You certainly have no end of inspiration seeing the woods melt away beneath you and behind you. But by the time you come to ground, you don't have any songs put together or anything. You just have this experience that hopefully you'll be able to put into music later.
Fair.
Also, Katiara and Yaereene, can you guys give me Constitution saves, please? So today was different than yesterday. Maybe it was the excitement of your first time flying with a dragon that warded you from the cold, but today was much worse, and you felt that chill deep in your bones. You're both going to have a level of exhaustion.
So I think that upon seeing Yaereene have to face the fatigue of the day and feeling cold, Tempus is going to immediately start fussing over her and ask if she would be willing to take his ring.
I'm fine. I'm just a little cold right now. Just need a fire.
And Tempus is going to go all out, starting far too big of a fire.
I think it would be better if we fly lower. Take a chance and fly low tomorrow for both your sakes.
I get a good night's sleep. I'll be fine.
Yeah, me too. It's okay.
Okay. I have another update from Nordgard. Yesterday I tried to let them know about the Citadel where we face the Chimera, but they've ruled that they can't outrun the undead forces, so they're defending Nordgard to the last. Horace Damlane's probably going to challenge their leader if he has to.
Oh, goodness.
I warned them about the potential weapons he will be facing in that orc's hands if this comes to be. Is there anything else I need to warn them about?
If he's a member of the Flesh Takers, he got to that position by being the biggest, strongest, nastiest orc of that tribe. So for Horace Damlaane to have any goddamn hope, he should play to his strengths, which is to say he should cheat.
I'll let Yuri know.
If Yuri can cast a buffing spell on Horace, that would help. If Gorold and his crew could sneak into the orc camp and poison the orc chief's food, it's do or die time. They need to pull out all the stops. They can't leave anything to chance. Poisoned weapons. Put a landmine on the battlefield, on the dueling field. Anything they can come up with.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Anything else anybody wants to do tonight?
I do. I'll send you a message.
Okay.
Tempest would like to draw Rhodes to one side.
Rhodes will give his consent and follow.
Okay, so after we take a little bit of a walk, Tempest is going to tell Rhodes, so Rhodes, my memories of the last little while are pretty messed up, but I'm pretty sure that you saved me from that cursed sword, and I'm pretty sure that I hurt you pretty bad while you were doing it. Is that right?
No, it was just a friendly spar. That's all that was.
Really? I distinctly remember driving the sword into your chest cavity with an overhand throw, coming over to you, putting my knee on your chest, pulling it back out, and cutting you some more.
And so, as Tempest is going through this, Rhodes is going to put a hand on his shoulder, just shh, I don't want to remember.
Okay, look, I owe you an incredible debt. You're so strong and brave. I'm strong, because I grew up tough in the woods, like an orc ought to. But you're just, you're a human. And despite all of that, you're the most courageous and brave individual. And if you would allow it, I would like to cut flesh with you and be as your brother by choice.
Rhodes is going to take a moment to think on that one because it's the first time anyone has offered anything like that to him, but he's maybe going to give it an all of like 5 to 10 seconds, and then he'll nod and be like, yeah, I would like that, Tempus.
And Tempest is going to slice open his palm on whatever edge is available, probably his halberd, and hold it out to Rhodes.
Rhodes will draw his dagger, do the same on his own palm, and he will clasp hands with Tempest.
Blood of my blood, family by choice. Never let either of us spill each other's blood again, for now we are as family against the world.
Assuming it is some orc thing that is going on, Rhodes is going to repeat what he has said.
Also, just so I'm clear, you do have a vow of chastity of some sort, right? I didn't make that up?
Rhodes is gonna stop and be like, well, do you choose to believe I have a vow of chastity? Would it make you feel better to believe that and continue believing it?
I mean, I just want to know the truth. I'm starting to really doubt a lot of my memories of the last little while. Honestly, I can't believe that Yaereene is dating somebody like me, but hell, I'm going to make her so happy for the rest of my life. It's going to be great.
You do that, Tempus. Good job. And for the record, I am the furthest thing from chaste, I'll have you know.
Oh, really? And with that, we'll head off for the camp.
That's a thinking, oh really, if I've ever heard one.
Sure was.
Oh, there once was a ship, a mighty old ship that put straight out to sea. It was crewed by the biggest, dirtiest orcs that you did ever see. Now the winds were low and the sails wouldn't go, but boy, oh boy, could that ship row. All the orcs with their hands on the oars, they could work those shafts too. Moral of the story, get ready for some shipping, y'all.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, if anyone was gonna row that ship, it would be Tempest.
I'm just glad that my boat is already tied to another ship.
And that one Tempest isn't going to mess with.
Well, I mean, at this point, like, everybody in the party is, like, nicely arranged into Tempest's family, and what are brothers for if not getting them married to queens? So, go about your business.
Oh no, geez.
I saw that coming. Like, it's just obvious.
Oh boy.
I wish this was a face-to-face session. You would just see my eyes get really, really big and just stare fixedly at Tempest.
I love it.
So he had a motivation for this after all.
I've got motives up the yin-yang.
All right. Anything else for tonight?
You are so brave to continue asking that.
Well, I have to. I don't want anybody to miss anything, So, yeah, and I enjoy all the weird conversations that are going on.
The party bonding is strong tonight.
Yep. So in the next morning, Rhodes, I forgot to ask you to do this yesterday, but today, please roll D100 for every spell slot you have.
Oh my god.
Right, I forgot about that as well. Give me a second, I gotta count my spell slots.
Sure,
you
no
can
problem.
go on and then I will roll once I have that ready.
Also, since we had a long rest with no interruptions or anything, I'm going to assume I get rid of my exhaustion.
Yes.
I'm assuming I can as well.
Yep.
How did I do,
Okay.
oh merciful GM?
Pretty good. You only lost one first level spell.
Sorry, that was third level?
First level.
Got it, thank you.
You were really close on one of those later spells, but your percent chance right now is 90 or higher. So, good job.
I will take it.
Is Rhodes giving us a heads up he's having issues or no?
I feel like because it's only been one first level spell slot, I feel like he would keep it to himself, but he is looking a little perplexed this morning.
And Ryan, is there time when we landed to forage for food in the evenings?
Yes.
Wonderful. I will be doing that
Sounds good.
while trying to be stealthy about it. So
Okay. So next morning, same deal as before. The dragon is ready to ferry you guys along.
Tempest, I think, feels a little bit guilty at always getting the plum seating, so he'll offer to trade off with Rhodes or Katiara.
I'll let Rhodes get up.
Rhodes will take it, but then he'll he nods to Tempest and the whole, like, he appreciates it, but obviously the next day of travel he's going to let Tempest take that spot back, because who wouldn't want to ride a dragon with their girlfriend?
Katira, are you sure you don't want to trade? I can trade you.
For reference, that was the words of the player, not the character. I did not say ride a dragon in character.
Fair.
Nice panic there, though.
Yaereene, hush. Be up there. Enjoy the time with Tempest. Enjoy what time you have with each other.
He's going down and flying on the other side. So if you want to trade me spots, I could see what it's like to fly from the very bottom like that.
I think Reshzamanaz would prefer me always to be in his grasp.
We see if Reshzamanaz has a you got that right look.
Insight.
On me?
No, this is Ysmyr who said that she was looking at. Yeah, you definitely get the sense that Katira's got that right.
Sorry, Katira. You're probably right. Yes. Yeah.
I'm reaping what I sowed, and hey, that's the way it is. Besides, I haven't had a chance to have a nice long conversation with Tempest for quite a while.
All right, Katira, I spy with my little eye.
Something that begins with S?
I'm assuming that that's what we're going to do while we're riding in the claws, is just play I Spy the entire day.
Okay. In that case...
Actually, I think at some point I'm going to try and pull out my panpipes and do some of the orc songs that I learnt while traveling that Tempest would have some good memories of.
Well, then in that case, Tempest is probably going to pass out, fall asleep.
You'd be making a performance check at disadvantage.
I'll still do it.
Okay.
Double 19! Suck it!
Nicely done. Somehow, despite the fact that the wind is blowing very hard, you manage to find a position where it's minimally affecting your ability to play the pipes. And you play the orcish song beautifully, and Tempest falls asleep in the claws of the dragon.
Is it enough to get a reaction from anybody else in the party?
I'm going to say that they're too far away to hear it. Like, they're on the other side of the dragon, the wind's whipping by.
Wind noise, yeah, gotcha. However, does Reshzamanaz hear it? Reshzamanaz.
Do 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 do.
Thank you.
Make an insight check, Katira.
All right, straight up.
Yeah. While it's hard to read how the dragon feels about the music, you do note that as you play, the wings beating shift slightly to match the rhythm of the song.
Okay, thank you.
That's the dragon equivalent of tapping his toes.
Yeah, exactly. Yaereene, did you take that ring from Tempus, or were you okay?
Nope. So I'll make another save.
You and Katira both.
Uh-huh.
You both managed to shrug off the cold today, and the dragon does its same flight as before, up high, lands with all of you safe and sound. Ysmyr, tonight there are no messages from Yaereene.
Okay.
I'm actually going to try and talk to Reshzamanaz before I go to bed.
Okay.
Are you doing this with supervision? Just gonna ask.
I'm going up, and if somebody else wants to play babysitter, I'm not going to stop them.
I would like to sit within earshot, but like not be too obvious about it.
Your Magnificence. I noticed while I was playing some tunes for my friend Tempest, it seemed like you started keeping beat with it. Do you like music?
Are there beings who do not?
I would never assume anything about a being that is so beyond my understanding as you. which is why I ask in deference. But I'm also very, very pleased that you do appreciate it. Is there any type of specific music that I may know that you would find pleasing and enjoy while you fly?
Surprise me. There is no way that you would know dragon song, but your mortal music may suffice.
I thank you. I will try and, as you say, surprise you on the morrow. If it is not to your pleasure, by all means, let me know and I will still myself. For you being able to escort us and be alert at all times is, of course, my greatest wish.
You need not fear, little man. I am always alert.
I just bow deferentially and go back to the party with everybody else, and I give a wink to Rhodes because I did kind of notice.
Rhodes will just wink back and give Katia a thumbs up.
Anybody else have anything for tonight?
I do.
Okay.
I did send you a question about that roll I did.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That looks fine.
Family meeting. Everybody on me.
Okay.
So you know how Gurkum, the leader of the Shop Tree tribe, one of the strongest clerics of Tempus, died recently in the attack on Nordgard.
Okay.
Yes, I think you mentioned that.
And
It's a shame.
you know that when a powerful cleric or follower of a god dies, their soul goes to that god. And that's how Shiro and Dowreth have been finding the gods and taking out their power.
Oh.
No, but thank you for that info.
And now that Rhodes is a cleric of Tempest, that means that his power is at risk.
You're not wrong.
And the only real way that we have of connecting with Shiro or Dowreth would involve probably using the Daystar and the Doomstar, right?
We actually don't know that.
Are you willing to try?
Do we have many other options?
Yes, actually.
We do?
Peter kind of grasps her dagger. I think, considering how he reacted to the Storm King's stone, my patron might say otherwise.
Well, I don't know about your patron other than he stabbed me. But, no, we have a third option. The Stormlord.
Yaereene perks up.
So both Katiara and Yaereene are followers of the Stormlord, and I know that you've been trying to connect with him, but that your efforts have been a little bit, maybe not what you were hoping for, right?
I don't know if we can talk about this right now.
Why not?
What's your concern, dear?
She'll glance back towards where the dragon left us without saying a word.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to take care of this. In fact, let's all walk and talk as we go into the woods a little bit more. And assuming there's no objections, going off at a brisk pace into the woods, Tempest is going to say, there's a lot of difficulty with, getting your spirit straight and spiritual questing and all that, and I get it. So I figured that what we might be able to try was doing things a little bit more in the orcish fashion.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you, Katiara, and I are going to go do some drugs in the woods. And Tempest will produce a bunch of mushrooms that he managed to find today.
Yaerene's eyes get very, very big.
What's that supposed to do?
These.
Katiara, it just is like flashing back to that horrible session in the south side of the city with that freaking idiot.
Spiritual journey. So these are called fly agaric, but the orcs call them by another name, God's bread. You eat these, and it takes you to the spirit world. You get close with the gods. You see things in the spiritual realm, and you just, it expands your mind and helps you center yourself. Often, young people who engage in the wilding ways that I was raised in take these to help us get into sort of that primal battle state until they learn to do it completely on their own.
Can I
Berserker?
ask a dumb question? Isn't that where they're trying to kill all the gods? We're gonna go there?
Well, I don't know about that, but I figured at the very least it might bring you and Tiara more into contact with the Stormlord. And I'm going along just to help.
I don't think this is a good idea right now.
Why not?
She glances in the direction of the dragon thinking, I can't tell you right now.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I thought that the three of us might do drugs and that Rhodes and Ysmyr would stand guard over us, but, you don't think we can do it right now?
I don't think we should do it right now.
If Yaereene is feeling so, I would go with her. She loves you and she wants the best, and she's going to always think of everyone else. So if she says it's not the time, then it's not the time.
Well, and of course I'll respect that, but can you...
It can't be verbalized.
Well, then of course I'll trust you, but just, if ever you're willing to try, we've got the means to at least do something different, I hope.
Okay, I promise to tell you when I think it could be an okay idea.
I trust both of you. I love both of you, and I'll always look after and try and protect you. So, of course, my life is yours. I trust you.
Rhodes is going to do a quick search for anything that you could like write on, if we would have that possibly in our supplies, or even like a stick in the dirt.
Oh, Tiara, when he sees you scrambling, he's always got a freaking quill and a paper in case inspiration strikes.
We also have like some old. Ysmyr has Hogarth's old journals, so I'm sure there's a page you could use or something.
Then, assuming it is up for offer, Rhodes will steal Hogarth's journal and one of the quills from Tiara and pass it off to Yaereene so she can express herself more appropriately.
Okay, on the paper, she'll write the Stormlord is hiding, and then she'll burn it after letting everyone see it. I'll tell you guys more as I know more.
Probably similar to this. And Ysmyr taps her dagger again.
And Yaereene is still glancing in the direction of the dragon.
And Ysmyr's going to be very quiet, but she's going to be like, and we don't want to talk about it right now.
We don't want to queer the deal.
We should just maybe go to sleep.
Yeah. All right. You guys can do your weird mushroom thing another time when we don't have to be, maybe when we're not traveling in the woods.
Yes, let's not do drugs while we're traveling, kids.
Well, okay. Thanks for listening. Sorry it didn't work out.
Maybe we'll do drugs another time.
Oh, I'd like that.
She does want to please, you know.
To please or to do drugs?
You know, it's all the same in this situation.
Oh, good. So is that it for the night?
For this night, sure.
Okay.
As somebody that's older than all of you, this actually feels so much like my teen years.
All right. The night passes uneventfully, and in the morning, Reshzamanaz is ready to go again.
Is there any more seat hopping?
Yaereene will offer.
Rhodes will also offer Tempest's original spot back to him so he can go with Yaereene.
Where is Ysmyr riding in the midst of all this?
Up at Reshzamanaz's neck. So it's like she's at the kind of the neck. 2 have been on his back, and 2 in his feet.
Okay. Well, Tempest is good to follow Yaereene if she's going back onto the back, as it were.
I don't think she's been off of it. Nobody's let her swap, so.
All right.
This time, though, Ysmyr is going to think ahead and make sure Yaereene and Tiara are at least have some like blanket wraps.
I'll use my bedroll. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually going to make sure I'm turned around, so when I'm trying to play my panpipes, it's shielded from the airflow interfering with it.
Okay. So the dragon lifts off.
While they're flying this time, Ysmyr might just ask some idle questions like how long has Reshzamanaz been the power in the north? That kind of thing. Just kind of, I guess, connecting to the dragon sort of questions. How's his brood? Are they healthy? She'll start with, it's been a while since I've been around dragons, and I greatly appreciate all this. If you considering how whites and silvers get along. I was just curious about how long you've been Master of the North and everything like that.
I have been Master of the North for many, many of your lifetimes. My grandsire was Selar Zidam, and he ruled the North for generations before being slaughtered by the dwarves. After his fall, his children warred amongst themselves and lost a great deal of power and influence in the North. It is only in recent times that I have begun to rebuild his lost empire.
That is saddening to hear what happened so long ago, but great to hear how you are rebuilding, and I'm sure you will. You said you had a brood. I'm sure you will lead them quite well as you rebuild your empire.
For now, it is less about leading and more about breeding. We need numbers, and I have been spending a great deal of time growing the flock.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense as well. Nope, that makes sense. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Kind of not sure where to go there, huh?
All right.
Does it make you feel awkward hearing about dragons breeding?
I'm the result of a dragon breeding, so no, it's just not sure. Not sure what else to say to that, except good luck.
All of a sudden, I start playing really bad jazz.
Okay. You successfully play bad jazz.
I'm imagining Careless Whisper, but on pan flute.
Oh, and with the interminable sax solo.
Oh my goodness.
Excellent.
And on top of that, she will be like, it's also been a very long time since I've had long conversations with dragons. So forgive me if I'm, as much as I try, I am rusty in a lot of ways.
I imagine if the last dragon you spoke to was your mother, she wasn't very interested in the finer details of mating.
No, she wasn't. It wasn't something that came up in any of our talks, actually.
Well, anytime you need a lesson on the tails and the wings, just let me know.
I will do that.
Careless Whisper gets louder in the background.
All right.
I'm laughing too, by the way. I
just imagine Rhodes looking at, not hearing this conversation, looking at Tiara being like, what is that god-awful noise you're playing?
I'm just dying, you guys.
Okay, from there, as soon as it kind of veers off that conversation, I change my playing, and I'm thinking of all the songs that I
I'm
know.
assuming this was draconic, so the fact you played that would be totally random.
Okay. The songs I start playing are all ones that talk about the cunning, intelligence, and the smartness of dragons.
Okay.
I'm good with still the same performance, right?
Yeah, sure. Or you can roll a new performance roll for the new song.
All right. Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
You're playing great today. Okay. So yeah, you do note that as you play, the dragon's wing beats again match the tone of the song. And if nobody else has anything that they would like to do during the flight, the Reshzamanaz will land, and you guys can go about your night.
I will first search for food, and then before sleeping, I have something to send you.
Okay.
Ysmyr is really awkward anytime she has to be near Reshzamanaz right now.
How come? Sorry.
Just the most innocent tone.
The pink cheeks were just from the moving area, guys.
Well, it looked like Reshzamanaz enjoyed the tunes today, and I kind of look over.
Insight. As you look over at the dragon, you note that he's looking at you, and you see just the slightest move of his head as though he's beckoning you towards him.
I nod and I approach.
You play well, little one. I have enjoyed your music during flight.
It is my pleasure, and a way of showing my respect for you escorting us and making sure we have safe passage.
Perhaps we got off on the wrong foot. You're not as useless as you seemed at first.
I smile and I kind of bow and I say, those are, I guess, the kindest words I could ever expect to hear from a dragon. Thank you, Reshzamanaz.
Perhaps once you have found your way back towards your city in the south, you might stop by my lair and play for my brood.
I will consider this a command performance, and once the city is safe and I may travel for pleasure, I would be honored to perform for you and your brood.
Very good. Now I must feed.
And without further ado, he turns and flies off into the woods.
I look and make sure he's not looking, and then I kind of strut a little bit back to the crowd.
All right, you guys see a strutting KTR come back to camp.
You look quite proud of yourself.
Well, I've always wanted to have a patron, but I never thought it'd be a Reshzamanaz. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think he actually likes me now.
You think so?
Well, maybe not like, but at least appreciate my music.
Well, that works in your favor, that's for sure.
Now, you seem a bit different after this trip. Everything all right?
Fine. Why?
Oh, nothing. Just you seemed a little more distracted, taken aback, not present in the moment.
I haven't heard from Yuri, so I'm a little worried there, but nope, everything's fine.
Well then, shall we tell some stories around the campfire tonight, or shall we just keep it quiet as usual?
I think I'm fine with some stories.
Ah, lovely. And then I just go off and I, help try and make myself useful, either trying to get the fire or getting food going or whatever.
Tempest will tell a story about his grandfather, and when he tells it, he's maybe gushed a little bit about his grandfather to you guys previously, but it kind of makes you wonder a little bit about Tempest's family background, because he'll be telling the story where he's like, and then Granddad said he'd show mercy if they came out of the cave, but then they came out, and he didn't. And he acts like it's just the biggest punchline ever.
And Yaereene will smile.
Okay, Tiara just takes it as works. Anybody else have a story?
Yaereene will shake her head enthusiastically at you.
Is Reshzamanaz laying down sleeping?
Yep.
I lay down and I go through my memories and I start telling tales of the elves in the north back in the ancient days, which KTR has always loved the old tales and the the old songs, the old ballads, and so he goes as far back as he can, and before the fall of the elves, before they were separated.
Can you give me a history check?
Yeah, sure. Meh.
Yeah. The knowledge that you have is essentially the knowledge that the party has gleaned so far from what few books exist. That the history of the ancient elves is long since gone. But you still can retell those tales and put your own flash and spin on them, making them your own.
Okay. I was hoping that some tales had survived the fall of the North, as it was, in my opinion.
Well, if they do exist, you haven't heard them.
Okay. So now it's just straight to a performance, or
Sure. You do an excellent job of telling the tale.
the tale I'm telling is actually one of high romance and tragedy. Uh, and where everything turns out at the end, but it's like very much like the roller coaster effect. Um, so yeah, uh, that's the one I'm telling. Basically, a betrayed king deposed, dies, the son comes back, regains, finds a companion on the way, and the companion ends up becoming his obsession. And through their combination of love, trust, and strength, they managed to overthrow the bad guy, and set a new dynasty and a new lineage.
Okay.
Do I detect anything from Reshzamanaz?
Snoring.
Fair.
Does he detect anything from Ysmyr?
That's up for you guys to decide if you want to check out Ysmyr's reactions. I have told the tale. That's it.
Oh, Yaereene has no idea.
I feel like Rhodes would glance both to the dragon and to Ysmyr just to kind of gauge things.
Oh, Ysmyr's just listening. Just stoic and listening.
Is there any chance that the story I'm telling is the story of her ancient lineage and the beginning of her line of royalty?
No.
Oh, dang. All right. So I finished my story. I looked to Ysmyr, and do you have anything you'd like to tell?
No, I don't think I have anything that could top that tonight, anyway.
I grab my pen and quill and I start scribbling down, trying to remember everything I said and the tunes, so I can play it later.
Okay. Is anybody else saying anything?
I think I sent you tonight's one,
Yes,
so
you-
I think no.
Yes, you did. All right. Then the night passes uneventfully, and Rhodes, I'll get you to roll for your spell slots again.
You got it.
Okay, so the way I've been doing this is like the first number there is your first level spell slot. The second number is your next first level spell slot until you run out of first level spell slots, and it becomes your second levels and your third levels and fourth levels. Anything higher than an 85 is a lost spell slot for you. So you've got 3 there. I'm not sure what levels those correspond with.
Okay, so like where the numbers are in placement of the die is the spell slot it's corresponding to. Spell slot's ascending.
Yeah, going from first level up.
Got it. And 85 plus is it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. I will sort that out.
Okay. Otherwise, you guys break camp. Who is flying where today?
Yaereene will continue to offer to let somebody have her spot, but if nobody takes it, she will continue where she has been.
And if somebody takes Yaerene's spot, then Tempest will force the other person to take his, but if she's on the back, he's on the back.
The dragon will now allow Katiara to ride on his back if he wishes.
Actually, I'm kind of into just being grasped.
Okay, there's no sentence that can top that tonight.
I'm just kind of treating it like a hush blanket.
I don't even know what to say at this point. Okay. All right, you can stay in the claws, and Yaereene and Tempest will stay on back. Rhodes will be in the claws, and the dragon takes off for the day.
To be clear, I'm being held in the claws for the view, not for the not to be held.
Fair.
So you say.
Does Tempest have a notion of how chummy Katiara seems to be getting with this dragon?
Give me an insight check. You have no clue.
Dum 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 dum.
And just to make it clear, this is not a bondage BSDM thing. It's just like,
Too late.
oh God.
All that aside, Katiara just wants to be held. That's all. He could have easily just asked one of us.
You're not a great big manipulative evil dragon that could kill me at a whim. It's not the same.
So it is a bondage thing. Got it.
If you're going to go there, I'll lean into it and give you everything you want.
Oh no, that did not make it better.
It wasn't meant to.
Oh my god. Okay. Just gonna derail that completely. The dragon lands, and the day has gone by uneventfully. What would you guys like to do tonight?
I'll look for food.
Tempest is going to approach Ysmyr.
Okay.
Well, first off, Tempest is, appearing to be a little bit bashful and sheepish, and he's going to ask if you have a moment to take a walk and a talk.
Okay.
So, assuming that you agree
yeah.
to go for a quick walk?
Yeah. Sure. Let's go.
So we'll walk ourselves a little ways away from the camp, and Tempest is going to say, Ysmyr, it's been a little bit since we sort of had a one-on-one discussion about stuff. Right, I'll just keep going. Look, I'm still a little bit muddled on the last couple of weeks. My head isn't right. I don't know what to trust among my own memories ever since I picked up that sword and had Big Tempest in my head, but I kind of get the sense that I've wronged you.
In what way?
Well, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure that you weren't in fact flirting with that dragon, and yet I think I kept trying to push you towards him. I also outed you a bunch of times, both as the queen and such like, and you have clearly had no end of trouble because of my actions in that regard, and I'm sorry.
Yes, it's made things insanely difficult, but there's nothing we can do about it now. So, thank you for your apology.
I don't know. I recall driving you to such extremes that you struck out at me, that you've stabbed me, hit me, lost your composure, and such like. Is that correct?
Let's see. The stabbing was not me. That was my patron taking over, which I thought we made clear. But yes, there were a couple times, especially after the lake. You jumped in trying to save animals that you wouldn't be able to save, and all I could see was you destroying yourself. So when we got out, I didn't know how to voice that, so yes, I lashed out.
Do you know why I decided that you were my war leader and that I needed to follow you unto the death?
Originally is because I let you sleep in my living room.
Well, yes, but do you not understand the important significance of that?
Not to the extent that you've seemed to take in it.
You took me in when nobody else would. You gave me a place and vowed that you would care for me by opening up your own home to me. That means a lot among my people. You basically invited me to be family, and maybe I read too much into it or assumed too much, and I don't really know if you actually feel that way, and I'm sorry if I've assumed or imposed, and now I'm kind of worried I've wrecked your life as a result of my actions.
You didn't wreck my life, Tempest. And I do see you and the others as family. And that's why I struggle so much sometimes. I've lost friends. I have family I haven't seen for decades. And so it was easier to keep family away. You guys are made it very hard to do that.
Well, you seem to have taken all of the burdens of leadership on yourself, and maybe we've sort of forced it on you, and you often seem to be incredibly stressed and strained about not having all the answers, even though we look to you to do so, and maybe we've been unfair to you in expecting you to know what to do in every situation, and we've given you a lot of burdens to carry, and maybe that was wrong of us. What do you think?
That sounds like part of being war leader and queen.
Well, I think you've kind of made it clear that you don't necessarily want to be queen, and there's some days I maybe doubt that you want to be our war leader anymore.
I don't, well, depending on how things go when we get to where we're going, I don't know what's going to happen about the queen thing. As for the war leader, I prefer being the war leader in a team that works together. When it was hard was when we weren't.
I think that some of the biggest issues is that I don't necessarily have the same values or ways of thinking that some of the rest of the party does, and for what it's worth, I apologize. I want to do better at explaining things and explaining myself, and I want to try communicating better in the future, but I I also hope that you'll recognize that you don't always have to worry about making the best or optimum decision. Sometimes things mess up and sometimes things go awry, and part of being strong is just getting on with it and accepting the things that you can't change.
How about this? I'll work on that, and you work on the explaining yourself more. And maybe we'll be able to meet in the middle.
Okay, great. I'd like to take the Daystar and the Doomstar and smash them together real hard, please.
Why?
To see what happens when you get the, opposing elements.
They were sitting on top of each other in the cave.
Yeah, but that's not being smashed together real hard.
I doubt that would make a difference.
Well, maybe not. Can I try talking to one of them?
Why?
Well, I'm worried about Tempest the god. I'm worried about Rhodes. If the power of Tempest the god disappears entirely, then Rhodes is going to be left bereft of any sort of clerical magic. He'll have to turn to Sharo or Dowreth, and seeing as Sharo has already made his feelings on Rhodes quite clear when he struck him with lightning, I'm worried about it. I was hoping that we could contact the Stormlord to help, but now I think maybe other steps are needed. There's an old orc trick that the Jagged Tusk have often used when confronted with strong opponents. It's called Let's You and Him Fight.
Okay, and what does that mean?
It means that if we can get the two deities interested in something other than Tempus, we can buy Rhodes a little bit more time with his spells.
And what would we get them interested in?
Well, I think you'd agree that giving back the Daystar and the Doomstar to servants of either Sharo and Dowreth would be a bad idea, right?
Yes, I think so. It was already bad enough we took them.
So what if we offered to give the opposite star to either god?
Can't say I'm a fan of that either. Or still giving them weapons.
But it might pull each of them off of Tempus, at least long enough that we can get to this Sky City and solve the other problems.
So you want to gauge their interest?
I want to try communicating. I want to see what happens if we just talk to them or shake them about.
I would rather we discuss this with the others, because we've seen what happens when, well, at least a couple times we've tried with Charot through Miri and Rhodes briefly, and I don't know enough about Dowreth.
Well, I'm okay with that. After all, Yaereene is incredibly wise, Katiara has tons of lore, and in addition to being very, very handsome with quite broad shoulders, Rhodes is very wise and mature. Good boyfriend material. Let's head on back to the camp.
Okay. And she'll let Tempest lead the way as she gives him a funny look.
And we'll come on back to the camp.
Okay. So, you guys are going to discuss this science plan?
How does everybody feel about us talking to the Daystar and the Doomstar? I imagine that, Tempest stomps into camp with Ysmyr behind him and he opens with that.
Stones sometimes talk back.
I'm just very, very. You see me turn around like a cat, jump up, look, and I'm very, very concerned.
Rhodes, any thoughts?
I came in late to the game here. I don't think I know the risks as well as everyone else here, but I think there's some soundness to Tempest's logic. I mean, we're already playing at a disadvantage. Could that disadvantage get even bigger if we handed them over?
It might just put us extremely on their radar.
Well, if one of these is what we need to beat them, then using them to immolate each other would kind of remove our chance of resolving the situation, wouldn't it?
We can't beat them without the gods, and we're losing the gods.
Are these something beyond the gods, though? I mean, I've always kind of wondered that. Are these something beyond the gods' powers?
I thought the stones were filled with powerful followers of each.
I guess I'm just wishing that there was something to equalize us with the gods. Foolish, I know. I'll hush.
Even I could not challenge a god.
And Tempest wants to talk.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of in a mood to f around and find out.
I mean, I don't suppose there would be a way to try and talk with the gods on our side without attracting the attention of the other two, just to maybe get some insight as to what they would have us do if they want us to relieve the pressure off of them.
I mean, are you not a cleric of one of them?
I mean, this is very true, but as they say, I am not a good enough cleric to ask the gods questions openly.
Who says that?
Perhaps you need to have a little more faith in your god, and it may come true.
I mean, if that's the case, we could try that.
See if you can get a hold of Tempest, and if we can't, then we, I guess, rediscuss Tempest's plan.
All right, I suppose give me the night to see what I can come up with and prepare the spells, and we'll reconvene in the morning.
Has Rhodes mentioned anything interesting yet?
Have I not been coming through, or?
I just didn't know if you mentioned losing your spells.
Oh, I think Tempest outed me on that one already.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so plan is Rhodes tries to get a hold of God Tempest, and depending on how that goes, we let little Tempest play.
I like playtime. I like playtime.
Define playtime.
I wait for the dragon to fall asleep. I sneak up on him stealthily, and then...
I think I'm terrified already.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So I'm guessing just because I would have to prepare the spell. This isn't something I could do till morning, in which I would have to roll to see what my spell slots are again.
Yep.
Cool. Let me know when to do that.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to do tonight? I take the silence as a no.
I do.
Actually, hit points.
You can just say you have full health.
I think Rhodes might try to gather everyone to ask their opinions on what they think the question should be, because it does have to be a single question.
I would posit, can we help you by attempting to contact or distract the Elder Gods?
So this is the question to give to the Stormlord. I take it.
No, to give to Tempus.
It would be for Tempest, because Rhodes is not a cleric of the Stormlord.
Oh, big T.
While we're deciding, I'm going to roll for my spell slots. Oh boy.
I guess I would like the question to be, is the Stormlord stronger than you?
Okay, anything higher than an 80 is not there.
Guys, this roll was not great.
No, it was not.
Oh,
All right, we only have one shot at this spell, so we should really be strong on what our question should be.
I do think Tempest was on the right lines of it has to be what can we do to help you?
we should make sure to word that really clearly, because I don't know what kind of answer we need to get, or we're allowed to get.
If we attempt to distract Shiro and Dowreth, would that help you buy time? Would that something like that work?
I think so. At that point, we're taking the risk of coming to the attention of the Elder Gods or their servants, but if that helps Big Tempest and gives Rhodes more access to his spells, then, we're doing our part and he's at full strength. Prodigious and very handsome strength, I might add.
K-Tiara just kind of shakes his head and smiles, looks away.
I mean, Rhodes will take the compliment, but otherwise I think he's going to be a little clueless as to what's happening. All right, I'm sure they discuss the question more, and then I think Rhodes will say he will sleep on it and do his best in the morning.
Okay. Well, the morning comes. The night is uneventful.
I would like to add that in order to help with Rhodes creating the spell, Tempest will have stayed up all night making a wood-fired spear. Just get a stick, make it nice and pointy, harden it in the fire, and that sacrificial offering appropriate to his religion, I'm hoping that that's enough to help act as a material component.
Okay. Can you give me a survival check? Yeah, you think it'll do.
Woot.
I think before the group goes to sleep, Rhodes will pull Tempest aside, seeing as Tempest is the person in the party who has had the most intimate relationship with Big T. And he'll probably sit Tempest down and just ask, you've followed this religion longer than me. What was the religion about? What, in your opinion, is a worthy sacrifice for this divination?
Well, I've got this weapon, and I figure that we'll build like an effigy, and I think that if you and I spill a fair amount of blood, of our own blood, the blood of warriors, I'm pretty sure that would do it.
Now, do you think the blood would be enough? I mean, I'm not looking forward to the prospect, but Tempest is a god of war, is he not?
Well, yeah, honorable combat.
So would not a display of honorable combat and that be the reason of which the blood is derived be the more appropriate approach?
Why, Rhodes, are you asking for a fight?
I would just like to not get stabbed again this time.
Well, if you want an honest fight, I'm gonna stab you.
As long as I can cast the spell. How about this? We fight to first blood in the morning.
Tell you what. You get to pick 2 team members between K-Tiara, Yaereene, and Ysmyr. And the 3 of you can take me on.
That doesn't feel like... I mean, it probably would be a fair fight, let's be brutally honest here. But I feel like that takes away from the spell.
I don't think so. I think that the valor of the combat would impress them. Especially if I manage to whoop all y'all.
All right. Stop building up your own ego here. If I'm the one casting the spell, it should be me that makes the sacrifice, correct?
Probably yes. So, I'm going to go off in the woods to prepare myself. You should think of some clever yet honorable way to best me.
I am going to go down like a little bit. Yes, of course. I will do my best in the morning.
Looking forward to it, champ, and I give him a big old punch on the shoulder.
Great. So great. I'm gonna get stabbed again.
So somehow we're back on the subject of PvP in the morning, I guess.
I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, like, spilling blood is one thing, but spilling blood in honorable combat feels like the right way to go. I feel like the better offering we do, the more our chances are boosted.
Well, when the morning comes, Tempest will have cleared away a square in the ground so that, like, there's some, nicely packed snow and, like, a fairly large ring for us to fight in. He'll have, like, painted his face with ash and blood, and he'll be stripped naked and ready for you.
It's too early for this.
No, it's not. It's never too early for honor.
Do you mind explaining what's going on?
Rhodes and I are gonna fight as part of our ritual to call the god.
Which god are we calling again?
Tempest.
And we're sure that won't make him easy to find?
I don't know. It's really more that Rhodes is gonna cast a spell, I think. Which, I mean, he's already providing power to Rhodes.
Can Rhodes even fight you while casting the spell?
So as Ysmyr asks that question, Rhodes is going to step up, fully armored up, ready for battle, and just be like, well, the intent would be to cast the spell after, once I have given my offering.
Ah, I see.
It
Okay.
only makes sense that a suitable sacrifice to a god of war is a display of valor and pride in combat.
It's very lucky that we're getting a ride after this. Or getting carried.
Okay. So you guys are going to fight. I guess I need to put you into combat.
Ryan, you sound so tired.
Oh, I'm good.
Pardon?
All right, you guys can roll initiative.
As a player, I feel like I'm going to regret this decision. As a character, I'm in for it.
Who did you pick for your two, Rhodes?
Oh, this is one-on-one.
Yeah, they decided not to do the 3-on-1 thing.
All right.
I just want, before you two get started, just in case, I just want to let you know, I spoke with my patron, and he said that gods can be distracted, but it would take a great deal of effort, especially with the elder gods, if they're set on their path. So we need, if we're going to do this, it might be for naught anyway. If, like, just want you aware, we don't have many options anyway.
So you're trying to say not to fight?
This will just further solidify what we have to decide after. So do what you will.
All right, then I'm in. And Rhodes is going to look to Tempest, and he's kind of like batter his mace on his shield, and just kind of be like, I feel like it's a little bit of a unfair, you and your natural armor and all.
I really don't know what you're talking about. Mama said knock you out.
All right, Rhodes, you won the initiative, so have at it.
Oh god, as a player, I'm so afraid. I think I will hold up. Let me check this for a second. All right, I think, how far are Tempest and I away from each other?
As far as you want to be.
Tempest, how big is your arena?
I'm gonna say it's like a 40 by 10 foot strip.
Cool. Well, I think I'm going to start off with my charger feat, and I will use that to take a swing with the mace, but I will also cast spiritual weapon this round. I believe I can do that in one turn.
I hate to be a killjoy. I'm gonna post some things to chat.
Yeah, for sure. Do it up. Kill my joy.
You have to be moving in a straight line.
So Tempest, for the first time in a long time, has his halberd out. And when Rhodes...
Oh shit, I forgot about that! Oh no!
When Rhodes gets within striking distance of that halberd, about 10 feet away, Tempest is going to take a swing at him, and if he manages to hit, he's going to stop your charge in its tracks. So here comes the roll.
Rhodes has never seen Tempest fight with a halberd. This tracks. Rhodes has no idea what's happening.
Oh no, that shouldn't have rolled twice. With an 11, I'm pretty sure I miss you.
That is correct.
Well, that's my reaction gone. Carry on with the charge.
All right. So I believe if I succeed in an attack damage roll, I get +5 bonus to that roll, or like to the damage roll.
All right.
Roll at disadvantage.
Disregard, I hit the wrong button. Oh no!
That's a swing and a miss.
I would like to think I at least successfully cast Spiritual Weapon.
And
Yeah, you can do that.
You can attack with that right away, too.
You can, yeah.
Can you attack in the same turn?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Does that hit a naked Tempest?
My AC should be 13, I think.
Yeah, because it's Dex plus con bonus, so that's a miss.
I would like to think this first round we are heavily putting on for show.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
Here comes 3 reckless attacks with my halberd. 2 for my action, 1 for my bonus action.
Sweet Jesus, all 3 hit.
Well, that's just a silly amount of damage, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
42 damage.
Oh boy, this is going to be a very short fight. I take that back about being for show.
Anything else on your turn, Tempest?
Nope, that's pretty much it. Tempest might furrow his brow and say, "Are you sure you don't want to open with like a spell or something?"
I mean, technically I did.
All right, Rhodes.
Shoot. Cripes. Here I am clicking for information. Well, I was going to cast Sacred Flame anyway, so I'll take it.
All right. Dex save from Tempest succeeds, so no damage taken.
Oh my god, my rolls need to be better for this.
You still got your spiritual weapon.
Yes, so that is the next thing that's going to happen. And I know I cannot technically do flank, but I will say for story purposes, it will be behind Tempest.
Sure. Hey, 24 hits.
Hooray! Oh, that was supposed to be at disadvantage though, right?
Yeah, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I think you need a second roll on that one.
Yep, that's fine.
Was it a disadvantage?
Because of my cloak of displacement, Rhodes hasn't hit me yet.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I thought
fine.
you were naked.
Well, but wearing a cloak.
Oh, okay. I thought naked, but that's fine. All right, so spiritual weapon misses by a
Yep.
large margin.
Yep, that is accurate.
Finish him.
Did he just say?
All right, Rhodes. That looks like another 13 points of damage.
Oh yeah, I drop at that one. I'm at 0 even.
Knocking him out.
You know what? At least I did not yield. Went down in 2 turns, but I did not yield.
Yaereene, could you help Rhodes out? Tempest, do you think that was enough of a fight for this spell?
Well, we'll see what the god says. I really wish Rhodes would have just hit me with a fireball or something.
I mean,
Do you think
it's
it's
for
enough?
Tempest. Magic wouldn't have done it. It had to be mano a mano.
So did we sacrifice Rhodes?
I think I might have bled enough for this.
You certainly bled a lot.
Ysmyr's going to wait until someone, either heals him up or he wakes up.
Man, I was really hoping at least one of those hits was going to get through, but the dice really hate me today.
Yeah, that I'm sorry. That you had some
That's
serious
not your
bad luck.
fault.
Yeah, if you're waiting for Rhodes to wake up naturally, it'll be 2 hours.
I'll heal Rhodes.
Aw, thanks.
Okay. So Rhodes gets 7 health back and is conscious.
Ysmyr comes over and kneels by him and is like, impressive. Do you think it's enough?
I hope so, because that went a lot differently in my head.
Well, do you want a breather and then worry about this whole thing? Or do you think we need to try more?
Nope. I think I have bled enough. And with that, Rhodes is going to push himself up to his feet, and he is going to cast a 4th level spell of Divination.
Okay. You get to ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. And I have to give you a truthful reply that could be a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
Would you like me to message?
And I will let you know Ryan's really good at cryptic rhymes.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Did you want me to say the question in chat, or do you want me to message?
You can say it in chat. That's fine, however.
All right. So I believe the way I have settled on the question was, if we attempt to distract Sharo or Dowreth, will that benefit you?
The hounds close in. Their sense of smell is great.
So I think Rhodes is just gonna sit on the snow for a while to mull over that and take some time to recover. And he will likely repeat that out loud. And he's gonna look a little lost, maybe a little disheartened that it wasn't something they could pull more information from. And he'll just relay that the hounds are closing in. And what was it? Their sense of smell is great.
Yep.
Yeah, so he'll just repeat that out loud. He won't add anything onto it. He'll just say exactly what he heard.
And
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. What I get is that they're close. They're really close and quite fixed.
It's either one of two things. It's either inevitable that he's about to get caught, or that we draw the scent off of him. But I don't know what would draw off of him. I don't suppose we could commune with other gods to play kind of a game of ping pong to bounce the two between other gods. I don't know. That would require a lot of cooperation, of course, from the other ones.
The rest of you thoughts? Katira, Yaereene?
I don't know.
The way I see it, if we don't do something soon, I'm not going to have spells to help the party. Yeah, it's either inevitable that he's going to get caught, or we've got to do something to divert them off of Big T.
So,
But it has to be a big something, and I don't know if we have that.
I mean, okay, out of game we know that the stars contain like the souls of the most powerful followers of either god, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if we can in some way communicate with either Shiro and Dowreth and say, hey, we're not going to give you your star, but we'll give you the star of your like rival, I'm pretty sure that'll get us some action.
I don't want to make them promises like that, though,
Well,
even if we don't mean it.
We do know for sure they're rivals, right?
I think it's been hinted to us that they're working together to suppress the other deities, but yes, we know that they're otherwise opposed.
They're opposing beliefs, but Yaereene and Ysmyr both have visions where they were fighting together against the other gods. So I'm more inclined to think they're working together right now.
And what better way to break that up by a good old-fashioned let's you and him fight?
But if
Or
they're
that
working,
just tells them to come look for us next.
bring it, gods. But my next question is, how do we know that they wouldn't just continue to cooperate if we handed one star over?
I don't think we actually hand anything over just yet. We just say that we have the potential to hand them over, and hopefully that pulls them off of Big Tempest. Or at the very least brings them into talk a little bit.
I would almost, like, if we could make it to Tezalora in time, I would almost want to see how things are there, because, like, if they have any access to the gods there, that would change what's going on for us.
Alternatively, I could die, and you guys could res me with Tempest possessing me again is my other good idea. But that's not a good idea.
We don't have the diamond to do that.
And I don't know if we can guarantee that Tempest would come back.
Or if Rhodes would have the spell slots.
The other alternative I have is trying to get Reshzamanaz to help us break the artifacts of Dowreth.
But even he said that he's no match for a god, so I don't know if he would be able to.
And you have to remember, anything that's not true neutral within 60 feet gets hurt. So I don't even think he can get in there or breathe far enough.
For the stars, yes, but surely for the armor and the blade, we might stand a better chance of breaking it if the two of you do the overlapping breath thing, and then I'll whack the blade against the armor as hard as I can.
I mean, there is the chance that the destruction of something that these gods are attached to might draw their attention, but I don't know how long for.
The only other alternative I have is doing drugs in the woods.
I'm not against this plan.
You have to be in the woods, or can we go flying with you guys?
Oh, we're going to be flying. Biggest issue is that if Yaereene doesn't want to do it, then Tempus would never try and force the issue.
She'll talk about that with you later, once we're done traveling.
All right. So it's morning. You guys had your bloody sacrifice and cast divination. So, what is there anything else that you guys want to do this morning?
I mean, I've tossed out a couple ideas. Are you guys willing to go along with any of them?
Right now, the easiest one to do is maybe Tempest and Ysmyr take the stars and go talk.
Either way, I think I think we should do something before we leave, because it doesn't sound like we have much time.
Okay, so then quickly in the morning before we take off, Tempest and Ysmyr each grab a star and take it a little bit away from the party and the dragon to try communicating with it.
Okay. What are you going to do?
Which star are you going to hand off to Tempest, Ysmyr?
The only one that doesn't hurt her is the light one.
Why don't you give me the Doom Star?
Okay.
You go first then.
Ysmyr's just...
What are you going to say?
The world is being taken over by undead, and the gods are falling apart. Can you help?
There is no response.
Okay. Other than that, she's kind of stuck on what to say, so she'll cover it up and rejoin the others. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but I had no luck.
And Tempest?
Tempest, keeping a goodly distance away from everybody else, will take the wrapped up Doom Star and will unwrap it, holding it in his hands.
Okay. There's now a giant globe of darkness.
Previously, it was doing necrotic damage to people that stood in its aura. Does that apply to me?
No.
Then I will focus real hard on the Doom Star. Sort of like the same internal monologues that I used to have with Tempest, where I'm just sort of thinking real hard at it. And I'm going to think at it. I have your treasures, the blade and armor of your chosen. I have your star. I would parley and talk with you. If you cannot answer me, then I will turn instead to Shiro. You have my permission to reach out in my dreams. This is your first chance to talk instead of fight. Please reach out to me. Any feelings or response at all?
You do hear a voice in your head, and the voice says,
The gear of the chosen. I had wondered where it got off to. It always changes hands so regularly.
We slew the previous wielder of it. What is it to you?
Nothing.
What about this star? What is it to you?
Something more than nothing.
What is the star worth to you?
Little. There are others.
What would you give me for the star?
I am not in a position to trade with mortals.
Am I speaking with Dowreth, or with the spirit of this star?
The spirit of the star cannot speak.
What would you do if I could give you a day star of Shiro?
You cannot give it to me.
Maybe not, but I could give it to the servants of Dowreth. What boon would you offer me?
My servants are far from where you are. You will not see them to hand it to them.
I'm going to guess that I am speaking with Dowreth himself. What do you think of Tempus?
He is a foolish little half-orc who plays in the games of gods.
Not me, the Tempus.
You are as much the Tempus as the Tempus. Nothing.
What if I told you that the Lich Glathor is free and walking our world once more?
I would say you haven't seen him. He does not walk.
What can I offer you to leave the god Tempus alone?
Get your cleric to pray to him and have him surrender and bow before me.
You know as well as I that he will never surrender from an honorable fight. So, answer me this. I have seen your war in the heavens when I died. Will you and Shiro battle against all comers for forever, or is this simply the prelude to your next battle?
There are not enough lesser gods for this battle to go on forever. It will end. Trust me.
And when it does, will you and Shiro pick up the fight against each other?
That remains to be seen.
and you get the sense that the presence that was speaking with you has left.
I'll recover the Doomstar, turn back to the rest of the party, give the Doomstar back to Ysmyr, and y'all might notice that Tempest is shaking a little bit as he quietly relays everything in that conversation to you guys.
Yaereene will just come and step close to provide some moral support.
Well, I didn't tell him about the Stormlord, and that's about the best you could say about it. So, Rhodes, how do you feel about asking Tempest to surrender?
I mean, you know as well as I how that would probably go. If anything, I might get smote again.
Yeah, nuts to the Dark Gods. Ysmyr, you didn't hear anything from Shiro?
No, but I'll admit I'm probably too blunt and not as practiced at talking to them as you or Rhodes might be. Or at this point, even Yaereene.
No, this follows a pattern. Shiro was willing to accept the prayers of Miri and Rhodes, but he didn't actually provide them with any sort of insight, guidance, or communication. I also got the sense from the clerics in Nordgard that it was the same, that he was providing power and maybe distant commandments, but I don't know that he's much bothering to explain himself or his motives. He seems to be not talking to mortals, the way that Dowreth is.
Probably just isn't as interested.
Well, at this point, I think that we're either down to smashing the stars together or trying to destroy the artifacts of Dowreth. I've got nothing. I don't think that that's going to help Rhodes or Tempest or anything. So perhaps we've dallied enough here, and it's time to move on.
We can try something else later. We should move on, like you said.
Okay. You guys prepare for flight, and Reshzamanaz takes wing, and you get another day of travel uninterrupted.
Honestly, Ysmyr's at a loss on what we could do next, so she's pretty quiet and pensive for the time being.
I'm assuming we are at our evening camp.
Yep.
So Rhodes is going to approach our friend, who I really think needs a nickname. the dragon. Rhodes is approaching the dragon.
The Rash Man.
Yeah. We could just call him the Rash.
I'm not sure how that'd go.
So he'll approach Reshzamanaz and bow his head respectfully, obviously in a deferential position, and just be like, May I have a conversation with you, your mightiest of mighty dragons?
Give me a persuasion check.
Please, dear God, dice, go with me this time.
Ah, the bloody cleric approaches with great humility. You may speak.
You've definitely been on this ground longer than all of us combined. Do you have any insight on the gods? Anything that you've seen in your years of wisdom?
The followers of the gods all die like everyone else.
And the gods themselves, if I may be so bold as to press for more?
I have little use for them.
That's fair. You haven't observed anything of interest from them in the time that you've been alive?
No, I am not full of prayer and humility such as you are.
That is a very fair answer. I thank you for your time. And he'll bow a little bit deeper to the dragon and go off and think on his own for a while.
Okay. And the dragon curls up and goes to sleep. Anybody else?
I sent you something.
Okay.
I'm kind of stuck right now too, so.
All right. Then let me roll some dice. The night passes uneventfully, and Rhodes can roll a whole whackload of dice again.
Oh, I guess I should declare that I would likely use my remaining spell slots before we go to sleep to heal myself. Did you want me to roll for that, or?
No, that's fine. You probably got enough to get you back up to max.
And if Rhodes doesn't, I will cheerfully help. Actually, does Rhodes lose his spell slots if they haven't been used, or does that spell remain in his brain?
The spell slots have to be renewed in the morning.
Gotcha.
All right, rolling for spell slots.
Anything higher than a 75 is gone.
Oh boy. So I guess this morning, instead of keeping it to himself, Rhodes will sit down with the party and be like, I still have spells, I'm still equipped, but it is getting more difficult. I don't know how much time we have left.
Ysmyr, can I try with the Daystar?
Ye-
I heard it wouldn't be a good idea. That thing we're thinking about, the smashing?
No, I don't want to smash. I want to try and convince Sharo to talk to me.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, sure. And she hands it over.
And away from the party, Tempus will unwrap it and will sit down and say, hello, my name is Tempest Twiceborn. I was once the host of Tempus, who you are now hunting. Yesterday I spoke with Dowreth, your brother. Would you speak with me? Would you try to show me a better way?
You got no response.
What if I told you that I had artifacts of Dowreth that I could destroy at your instruction? What if I told you I had a Doomstar that I'd be happy to hand over to your followers to try and put Dowreth in your power and gain an advantage over him?
There is no response.
What if I told you that I have word of your sibling, the Stormlord?
Okay, now things get interesting.
No!
I know you said you had stepped away from the party.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
How far away from the party were you? Were you just out of range so that they wouldn't be in the radius of the stars? Or had you gone a long way off to the point that it would be difficult to see you?
Let's say 120 feet away. So, depends on the area around me. I don't think I'd go so far that I was completely out of eye shot.
And I assume people are watching Tempest at this point, speaking to the Daystar.
If we can see him, yep.
Well, that's a very curious choice of words. Tempest disappears.
Wait, what?
You watch as the Daystar drops to the ground.
I'm pretty sure Rhodes will go running for the spot to try and figure out what
Ysmyr's
happened.
already running.
Yeah, like we're going full sprint.
Yaereene too. But she knows she can't get too close to it without being injured.
I don't think Rhodes is privy to that information yet, so
I think Ysmyr's the only one who can.
we're about to find out.
I deserve this.
Okay, so you guys start running forward. I need to pull up another file here. Okay. Ysmyr, we know you're fine running into the radius. I mean, you suffer disadvantage on rolls, but you're not injured. Rhodes and Yaereene, both of you are chaotic, correct?
Right, so
That is
Yaereene
correct.
knows that and is not getting close enough to be problematic.
Rhodes, you're running in.
Yep.
You take 5 points of radiant damage. As soon as you cross the threshold of the 60-foot radius from Daystar, you feel your skin starting to burn again.
Well, Rhodes is a sucker for punishment, so he did just see his blood brother disappear, so he will proceed.
Okay. I'm assuming you guys are running at full speed, so double movement.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Ysmyr's going to at least cover the star as soon as she gets there.
Yaereene is gonna drop to the ground right at the edge of the circle and start trying to see how many humans she can sense, or humanoids she can sense nearby.
Okay. Rhodes, you take another 2 points of radiant damage before Ysmyr gets a chance to cover up the Daystar and the light winks out.
I didn't see anything happen. Did you two see that? Like, he was there and then he wasn't. Nothing else.
Yareene's totally focusing right now, trying to sense humanoids. She doesn't answer you.
And that takes a minute, right?
Sure does.
Okay. This is going to be the longest minute of your life.
Sure is.
Is that thing capable of seeking the god? What did he? What happened? Like, Rhodes is flustered and bumbling all
Tempest,
over himself.
you take 20 points of radiant damage.
Noted.
Tempest talked about destroying it. Would destroying it bring him back? Would it trap him? What are our options here?
I don't know, but we'll try anything. If there's a big rock, Ysmyr's going to try and smash it at this point.
Ask the dragon. Try the breath weapon. Try something.
We can try a small one first.
Tempest, you take another 26 radiant damage.
A small one's not going to cut it. We either go big or we go home.
Noted.
Fine. Ysmyr will run back to Reshzamanaz. Would you be willing to try your breathing on this item as just to try and destroy it?
When you present the item to Reshzamanaz, are you presenting it covered?
Yes. We would have to
make a dex
to uncover
save.
this, and of course.
You fail your save and take 59 cold damage, cut in half because you resist it.
That's good, because she's exactly 59.
And the Daystar continues to exist and is frozen to your hand.
Thank you. Nice try. Okay. It didn't work.
I will walk up and at least offer a second level cure wounds for Ysmyr.
Tempest, you take 28 radiant damage.
Using my orcish fortitude to remain conscious at 1 hit point.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do.
The only other option is to find out what happened. The only way to find out what happened is to try and replicate it.
I don't know what he said.
Obviously, he made contact somehow. Given how his conversation went yesterday, what are the logical things that we think he might have used?
The armor, the stars. While she's saying this, Ysmyr's also working on unfreezing her hand.
Yeah, it certainly stings, even with your resistance to the cold, but yeah, you do manage to get the Daystar freed from the ice.
How many rounds have we had, Ryan?
It has been 4 rounds, I believe. 1, 2,
Thank you,
3,
you're
4,
right.
5.
Very longest minute.
Tempest, you take 26 radiant damage.
And I am making death saves. Unconscious.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. While you're all trying to figure this out, Yaereene, deep in concentration, the body of Tempest collapses on the ground where he had been, and as you turn to see him, Rhodes disappears.
Oh boy!
This is not good!
So in retrospect, guys, I may have made a small mistake.
This is fine. This is fine.
Yaereene will run and heal Tempus.
Do I at least get an update on where I disappear to? Oh, gracious GM.
I'm getting there. Got to move people around individually here.
It's not much Tempest, but should prevent death saves.
Yaereene, Rhodes is gone.
How is this happening?
Tempest will sit up spitting blood and will say, I may have acted impetuously and made a very, very bad mistake.
What did you do?
I may have mumble.
Tempest, Rhodes has disappeared now. You just disappeared. What did you do?
I told Shiro that I might have news of the Stormlord.
Yaereene looks at him in shock.
Are you an idiot?
Yes, I am.
You realize he just took Rhodes. What if he takes Yaereene?
Where's the star now?
Rhodes, you take 28 radiant damage.
Noted.
Ysmyr holds up her hand.
Oh, shit. I didn't tell him nothing. I basically told him to pound sand. He tried blasting me with divine magics, and then next I knew I was here, but if he's grabbing us, then I don't know. I done real bad.
You spoke with him, and Rhodes was his cleric, but he's a god. He could snatch up any of us.
Rhodes, you take an additional 21 radiant damage.
Got it. I'm out. I am now making death saves.
Yaereene, run. Get away from that star.
Okay, she'll start running. And I will use my dash action to run as well.
Katiara disappears as Rhodes reappears, unconscious in the snow.
I'm going to try a heal check on Rhodes to stabilize him. Medicine, excuse me.
Now, this is a problem that Richard fell asleep, because I don't know if he would cave and spill the beans. So I'm just going to say he doesn't, and he also reappears a couple of seconds later unconscious.
I think you're right about what
And
he did.
Ysmyr goes to treat him and disappears.
Oops.
Please tell me Yaereene made it far enough away.
She's continuing to run, by the way.
Uh-huh.
And she can use her dash action to run as well. I know, it's a god. It's not far enough away. Oh, wow, this is interesting.
By the way, does a 15 stabilize me?
Yaereene, can you give me a deception check? Yes, 15 will stabilize you.
Hey, that is not deception. That is truthful. She doesn't.
You know something.
They didn't ask that.
Okay.
She is leaning into ignorance here.
Well, you can take 24 radiant damage.
Upon waking up, Rhodes is going to shout at Ysmyr to yeet that thing or do something to get it away from the rest of us, or all of us.
Is there anything here, Ryan?
No, you're floating in a black void. You don't see anything.
Okay. Ysmyr's going to cast Banishment on the Daystar.
Okay. The Daystar is banished.
It's a creature. Never mind, she can't.
Oh, Ryan, that's not good.
Ysmyr is going to put the Daystar with the Doomstar.
Yaereene, you
Maybe
take an
they
additional
balance.
3 radiant damage.
Okay.
She was going to try pairing it with the Doomstar, just see if the two energies kind of cancel out.
What happens is, the Daystar and Doomstar can be brought together, but they create a plane between them. So one half of the hemisphere is light and one half is dark.
Yeah, she was just like in the cloth or whatever, putting them together to see if, it kind of, they work to balance, I guess, so that maybe that would bring Yaereene back. But if it doesn't, then it's not working. So she'll shout to Rhodes and Tempest and Katira, I don't know what else to do.
Tempus will retrieve the former Sword of Vengeance, now a +1 greatsword, from the cart and will walk purposefully towards the Daystar. And if nobody objects, he is going to basically overhead swing, like sword all the way back between his ankles on the other side, and is going to try and sunder that damn thing.
Okay, you hit. No problem. Can you roll damage? Okay. I think, essentially, the sword breaks.
Completely shattering the star while it's doing so, right?
No, the star remains.
Is it still taking the same amount of time has the same amount of time passed in that Rhodes and Tempest had disappeared? Are we still waiting for Yaereene?
You are still waiting for Yaereene. Yaereene, you take another 6 radiant damage.
Fair enough. Can I do insight on this sense?
Sure. This voice is very angry.
Am I able to tell whether it's at us or at the Stormlord? Or both? Both is my best guess.
I was going to say could be both.
Who is he angry at? Yes. Rhodes is going to suggest reaching out to Dowreth to see if Dowreth can do anything to stop Sharo.
Would he want to?
I mean, we've already got one mad at us. It's worth a shot.
13 more damage, Ryan?
You bet.
Impetuous Tempest is going to grab the Doomstar and is going to think real hard at it, thinking, if you can save the one I love from Sharo, I will become your creature, body and soul.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Ryan, am I allowed to cast a healing spell in here?
I said you can try.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
You heal 0 hit points, as the
Oh,
power of nature does not
It's
exist here.
present here. But that was such a nice roll. It's sad.
It sure was, yeah. You flounder in the void, attempting to heal yourself. You can feel the radiant energies about to crush you when darkness surrounds you and drives off the light.
Uh-oh. Does it seem like friendly darkness?
You appear back with your friends. Tempest, I would appreciate it if you shifted your alignment to neutral evil.
Done.
Oh.
Reshzamanaz is standing nearby, looking at you all with a curious gaze and smiles.